Hi YouTubers, it's another video from me here, Evelyn. Now let me start off by slightly apologizing of the last video. I'm in a new setting. As you can see, I just recently moved house. So before I did that video, episode 2 and 3, my head was just all over the place. But I believe I gave the reasonable recap, even though I was keep on saying the wrong name various times of the order of the episodes. Now, I'm gonna mainly review today episode 5. I saw episode 4, but it was really painful to watch because you can see episode 4 setting up for the ultimate demise of Claudia, and we can see parts of the book now being really shown clearly that Claudia strikes up their friendship with the French dressmaker, because of course the big thing with Claudia is that she's forever stuck as a teenager, so she's forever envying other women and their development. So that's in a nutshell episode 4, and of course Santiago being jealous and plotting, and Louis wanting to make a life in Paris in a weird way with Armand, and he starts to make a plan with Armand about like having to take back control of the coven. So episode 5, when you see the insider review at the end, they say it's a one-off but bridging between the past and the present. So episode 5, we go back into what happened in the original interview in San Francisco 1972, because the episode starts off with Armand and Louis kind of recounting what happened in Paris last bit, and Daddy obviously heard the audio from the Talamasca guy, which episode 5 confirmed my theory. I don't know if anybody else had my theory, but we're going on a cross section between the tale of the body thief Easter egg, because the guy that introduced himself to Daniel in the other episode, he was called Raglan James. Now, it was a long time since I read the book. I keep on repeating this, but I thought, doesn't that feel familiar? So I googled after when doing the video, and yeah, the name of the body thief is also called Raglan James. I don't know what's that going to entail. I don't know how they're going to weave that into with the vampires and Lestat, because the tale of the body thief Lestat was the main protagonist there. And we have my other theory of the book, Merrick. But the way they've interwoven that storyline, and as well with the original ending of Into the Vampire, like when I read the book many moons ago, at the end, Daniel ends up finding Armand instead of trying to find Lestat. And, well, no, this is just my memory. Daniel gets turned by Armand, and Daniel becomes Armand's companion. Now, obviously, it's not gonna go this way. I don't know how. Maybe we can play it this way. Tale of the body thief, Daniel's ill. He ends up getting his body switched, maybe, because let's put it this way. Who's closer to the vampires? Daniel. And the body thief, Raglan James. If he can switch souls with Daniel and then try to switch souls with either Armand or Louis, now that would be an interesting plot. I just thought of that right now. They could be setting up something along the lines of that. But then again, what was I gonna say? There's gonna have to be an extra body around, because of course Daniel can't be in Armand's body or somebody else's. For all we know, he can jump into that would be so hilarious with that real Rashid. Now that would be so hilarious if that were to happen, because I can kind of see where with episode 5 Armand being like having enough with certain things. Now I'm just jumping too much forward. So both Armand and Louis are talking to Daniel, and Daniel's obviously trying to get to the bottom of this question he had of the original interview. Armand goes off for his once in a while like hunt, and we can really see the over exaggeration of the falseness between the vampires because of trying to find out what the hell really happened. So when Armand goes off for his lunch, Daniel goes and asks Louis, how long does it take? And he said about 2 hours. And then Daniel finally confronts Louis, and he says, I really want to know what happened in the original interview. And then Louis starts recounting how they met in the bar. They went to his house because Louis offered Daniel at the time drugs, and Daniel assumed kind of that Louis wanted to sleep with him, but that wasn't the case. Instead, Daniel takes the drugs, he's inhaling it, and they start the interview. But just like in the movie, that kind of short screen, we can see a little bit of homage to that of Louis looking out the window and saying, I'm a vampire. And then Daniel's like, oh, come on, what the hell? And then Louis shows Daniel his power. And then the funny bit, the younger version playing, the actor playing Daniel, they really did talk about how much the actor tried to encapsulate the original, the actor of Eric Bogensen. Oh, I'm so bad with certain names. Oh, so embarrassing. And she's like, what the hell's going on? You better not be like, was it the Zodiac killer at the time? That made me laugh a little bit. And then we see Louis showing his fangs. There's a little bit of kind of like some funny moments. Louis is, as the episode progresses, Louis is in some sort of torment. We don't know realize to what extent. He starts talking to Daniel for a whole night where Daniel's inhaling drug, things. I don't want to get this video taken down by YouTube, you can imagine, and as well drinking beer at the same time. And when they reach to the end of the story, Daniel's like, well, what next? And then Louis says his regret that something along the lines he should have let Claudia go off into the trade in the sunset, and he sat down in the chair and he talked about, like in season 1, that Louis was going to take his life by the sun, but he decided not to. I can't remember what changed his mind. And then Daniel says, what? So that's the end? That is your grand plan? You're going to do this? And Daniel, in his stupidity, he goes and says, well, you have no idea the gift you've been given. And then Louis snaps and then attacks Daniel. Now we get into Cup. Daniel then plainly says that what Louis was doing was like a reaching out for help, like a suicide hotline. And Daniel, in retrospect, in his old age, said that he said the most stupidest thing to a suicidal person just to cheer up. But Louis tries to play it off, and then Daniel takes out the big guns, the cleaned up audio that the Raglan James or the Talamasca gave him. Louis is like, okay, what are you doing, Daniel? What are you doing? And then he plays the audio, and then Daniel says, I had one of my research assistants. I think Martin Louis must know that there's a Talamasca guy, but then again, this Raglan James could have like good psychic powers to block off people reading his mind. Maybe they don't know that he's there, the connection. And I wonder whether Omar and Louis know about the Talamasca. But then again, the Talamasca's kind of ethos is to stay hidden from the supernatural. Well, Louis tells Daniel, you're lying about the research assistant. And then Daniel tells Louis, well, you're a liar too, but you may not know it. Louis hears the rest of the audio, and then we get a big fight scene between Amard and Louis, in which Louis is draining Daniel. Amard swoops in, pushes Daniel to the side, where he hits himself against the wall, and then Daniel says in present time, well, that's the sound of Amard saving me. I get a sense that there's been a full story all along. Episode 5 kind of reminds me of that trend going on, that it was Agatha all along from like WandaVision. I really don't think, okay, it's not good to change people's memories per se, but can you blame Amard? That with what I'm going to reveal next of Amard's reasoning. So Louis in present time is hearing the argument that him and Amard are having about what happened in Paris, because episode 5 we're cutting a bit the story, or putting a pause on the story in Paris, and from the fighting we can see something big went down more than ever. And it kind of looked like Amard had more of a direct part to it. And then afterwards, Amard finally tells Louis, look, Claudia didn't love you, you loved her more, and you're still afterless that, you don't even appreciate me. And then Louis, because when he drained Daniel's blood, well, Daniel's not dead, he's unconscious, he ingested the drugs that Daniel had in his system. So on the top of Louis feeling really awful mentally and with the drugs and stuff, he's like, yeah, you're right. And then he has a breakdown, and then we get put forward to the present audio, in which Daniel tells Louis, look, you can hear two door sounds, and if you put the dots, from point A to B, that Louis went into the sun. Now when I saw that, I was like, I can't believe, how clever the way they intertwine the Merrick storyline, how clever. And I'm really surprised. I've never had my theories ever turn out right, but they did it. They did it, and it kind of and it made sense, but it's a shame. Well, if you bring in the Merrick, Mayfair, there's a whole other thing. How do you interweave all of that? In present time, Louis comes to that realization and he's horrified. And then Daniel's like, you remember? And then Louis like, I'm remembering now. And we can see the fear, the realization on Louis' face that he tried to take his life in the most painful way. We get the shot of Louis almost turning to sand, and then Omard's cries like saying no, 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 and grabbing Louis back. So Omard's big thing is he's always playing second fiddle to either Lestat or someone else. Now Omar had, because there's the thing around saying how much did Omar said about meeting Lestat is true. Could be no, we don't know. Could be yet to be revealed. But maybe Omar wants Lestat more, maybe, God knows, because Omar of his past, which is I believe accurate to the fictional character story, that he was a slave boy. He has this weird kind of like dom and submissive relationship that he wants with Louis, that he likes the dominant side of Louis and he wants to be the submissive. I was like, oh, like getting into some like whoa. Afterwards, we see that Louis is like, I've forgotten pieces of my life, and then Daniel is slowing down Louis and saying, let's take it step by step. And then Louis recounts being on the bed, burnt to a crisp, so much pain, and Omar there like telling Louis what happened, and Omar saying like, oh, this is what you wanted and here you go. Now you went from this to a convalescent. And then Louis ends up finding out that Daniel's still alive. He's like, is he alive? And Omar is clearly pissed off that Louis found an intention with another young boy, and throughout the episode Omar is tormenting Daniel by using his telekinesis, throwing him around, mishandling him, trying to establish why did Louis find him so goddamn fascinating. We get more of Daniel, the young Daniel's life being analyzed here about his, not so great upbringing himself. But then again, Daniel's life, the way it was explained, it kind of mirrors Louis' human life a bit. That it was revealed that Daniel's mom works in a striptease club, from what I understand. And maybe that's why Louis kind of felt attracted, not romantically, but a kinship with somebody may have a similar life to himself. And as Louis is healing and Omar is feeding him his blood, so instead of Lestat saving Omar per se, he does come into it. I mean, Lestat saving Louis. It's Omar feeding Louis his blood to help him recover. We get to the main point of this episode, in which Omar tells Louis, look, I listened to the tapes twice and I can see maybe why you did what you did. You want Lestat to read the book, all the nasty things or false things or exaggerations you said about him, and for him to chase you. And then Louis like rejecting it, like, no, that is not the case. And then Omar says, I'm going to do the last thing I can do for you. I know where Lestat is. Omar was contacting him, trying to find him telepathically, but he wouldn't tell where Louis was. Omar truly, you put in the comment down below, do you think Omar really loves Louis, or as vampires he just don't want to be alone for aeons, centuries and centuries? So Louis is like in his pain in the coffee. He's like, no, I don't want to do any of this. I don't want to know. And then Omar telepathically says, Lestat, I'm here with Louis. And then Omar is basically like being like the medium, Lestat's voice. This Lestat, I was like, I want to know what the hell happened to him. Like, how come he didn't come and find Louis in the early 70s? Like, where the hell is he? And I bet you we're gonna find out what the hell happened to him. And the theory that some other fans have been saying of Lestat maybe coming in at the last episode and saving Louis from Omar, that could happen. If I had to see it in the last episode, I'd screw my head off. So Omar basically transmits some of the message, but Lestat tells Omar, tell Louis I love him, and Omar can't do that. He can't say that because of course it's like you're giving the message of your current boyfriend's ex, and you're there relaying the message of your ex-boyfriend says that he loves you. So in any normal situation that's going to be extremely hard. And then afterwards Omar doesn't tell Louis, oh, Lestat loves you, and then we can hear Lestat's cries going, Louis! And then afterwards, we get the scene that Amard is going to completely kill Daniel, but Louis intervenes, or still half shriveled, saying, no, we have to keep Daniel alive as a test of our companionship, in which that happened. Now, at the end of the episode, Daniel and Louis, they seem to be more connected in a more emotional level, with that understanding, that they understand where their past and their future, because Daniel does tell Louis in the episode, look, the boy that Amard is going to, drain out of his life, you made me an accessory to murder. So, like, Daniel does lay it down, I mean, here, I'm in the trenches with you now. I'm a part of your world, so be honest. So at the end of the episode, Daniel makes Louis realize that Amard has edited both our memories, and they see at what point did that happen. I don't know whether Louis kind of realizes that. We can see in this episode Louis' realization that Amard may be manipulating some of the situation for Amard's reasons why. That's yet to be revealed, or maybe his vengeance or revenge of Louis browbeating him for X amount of years. And then we get the end of Amard striding in with the sunglasses of this young boy. Now, this episode, in episode 3, I was sympathetic towards Amard. In this one, I'm like, okay, he's taking his revenge 100% with how Louis kind of treats him. And then that's the end. I only did episode 5, but there was so much there to digest. Now, it was very powerful scenes, sad scenes, and it makes you wanting present time Lestat to appear. And with so much the possibilities, me researching about the Telemasker, and I can't believe that AMC is going to do like a spin-off of that. I don't know how's that going to work, because I don't think they should. I think they should carry on developing the Telemasker in the Interview of the Vampire world. Mayfair Witches, like whoever saw my last episode, my feelings towards that. Will I try again to see the other episodes? Yeah. Anyway, as I leave you always, stay safe. To new viewers, big thank you for watching the video. To new subscribers, a big thank you. And now in a new home, in a new house, I really want to try to produce these videos better, hopefully. And when I get certain other situations handled. And as I leave you always, stay safe.